Hello and a very warm welcome to Grow English Mastery. My name is Scarlett, and today we are continuing our deep dive into a political firestorm that is currently captivating the United States. In our last lesson, we discussed President Trump's shocking and historically unprecedented accusation of treason against former President Barack Obama. The political world has been holding its breath, waiting for a response. How do you reply when you are accused of the most serious crime against your country? Do you respond with anger, with fire, or with silence? Late last night, that response came. Former President Obama broke his silence. Today, we are not going to analyze an attack, but a defense. More than that, we will examine how a former president responds to the most serious accusation imaginable. It is a masterclass in calm, strategic communication in a time of crisis, and it offers a powerful contrast in leadership styles. Our learning goals for today are to analyze this masterclass in communication. First, we will understand the content, tone, and strategy of former President Obama's response. Second, we will learn 10 essential vocabulary words that are key to understanding political discourse and debate. Third, we will master 2 crucial grammar points that are perfect for this topic, using the language of contrast to compare different styles and using the subjunctive mood for formal recommendations. And finally, you'll get some practical tips on how to use this language yourself. This is a lesson about what is said, but also about what is not said. Let's get started. Part 1. Breaking the silence, the strategy of the response. After President Trump's explosive accusation on July 2020, there was immense pressure on former President Obama to respond. Many of his supporters wanted him to hit back with equal force. But that is not what happened. Instead of engaging in a messy, public fight on social media, Mr. Obama chose a very different and much more controlled method. Late last night, his office released a formal written statement. This choice of format is, in itself, the first part of the strategy. A written statement, unlike an interview or a social media post, is carefully crafted. Every single word is chosen for a specific purpose. It prevents off-the-cuff remarks and ensures the message is delivered exactly as intended. It is a method that conveys seriousness and control, a direct contrast to the spontaneous and inflammatory nature of the original accusation. Part 2. The content, what he said and didn't say. Now let's analyze the content of the statement, which was a masterclass in strategic communication. First, and most importantly, he never mentioned President Trump's name. This is a classic political tactic used to avoid dignifying an attack with a direct, personal response. By not saying the name Trump, he elevated the conversation. He framed his response not as a personal fight between two men, but as a defense of American institutions and ideals. He referred only to the current political rhetoric or recent accusations, which made his statement feel more statesmanlike and less like a common political brawl. Second, the core of his message was a powerful defense of democratic norms. He spoke about the importance of the rule of law. He reminded the public that in a democracy, there are established legal processes for dealing with accusations of wrongdoing. He emphasized that serious charges should be handled in a court of law with evidence, not through political speeches. This was a subtle but powerful way of highlighting that the accusation against him had no legal basis without needing to say so directly. Third, he expressed his deep faith in the American people and its institutions. Instead of focusing on his own defense, he turned the focus outwards. He spoke about the strength and resilience of American democracy, and he praised the millions of public servants in the military, in the intelligence community, and across the government who do their jobs with integrity every day. This had the effect of positioning himself with these institutions against the divisive rhetoric of the accusation. Finally, he ended with a call for civility and a return to fact-based discourse. He suggested that the nation was at its best when its debates were based on reason and mutual respect, not baseless accusations. A discourse is a serious conversation or debate about a topic. Civility is polite behavior that shows respect for other people. This was his core recommendation, to lower the temperature of the political conversation. Part 3. The tone, a study in contrast. The tone of the statement was perhaps as important as its content. The language was calm, measured, and dignified. Measured means that the language is very careful, controlled, and not extreme. It was the complete opposite of the inflammatory language used in the accusation. Whereas President Trump's rhetoric was designed to provoke anger and excitement, former President Obama's rhetoric was designed to project calm, stability, and wisdom. He positioned himself as an elder statesman, standing above the political fray and speaking about timeless principles rather than getting into a messy, personal fight. This contrast in styles was a key part of the message itself. Now, to help us analyze this masterclass in political communication, let's learn some key vocabulary. 1. To break one's silence, idiomatic phrase. To finally say something about a topic that you have not talked about for a long time. Example 1. The former president finally broke his silence on the accusations. Example 2. After weeks of speculation, the CEO broke her silence about the company's future. 2. Response noun. Something that is said or written as a reply or reaction to something else. Spelling: R-E-S-P-O-N-S-E. Example 1. His response was calm, measured, and dignified. Example 2. I am still waiting for a response to my email. Verb form: to respond. 3. Dignity noun. A calm, serious, and controlled behavior that makes people respect you. Spelling: D-I-G-N-I-T-Y. Example 1. He responded to the attacks with great dignity. Example 2. Even when they lost, the team showed dignity in defeat. 4. Civility noun. Polite behavior that is respectful of other people. Spelling: C-I-V-I-L-I-T-Y. Example 1. He ended his statement with a call for greater civility in politics. Example 2. A healthy debate requires civility from both sides. 5. Rhetoric noun. Speech or writing that is intended to be effective and persuasive. It can sometimes have a negative meaning, suggesting language that is not sincere. Spelling: R-H-E-T-O-R-I-C. Example 1. He chose to avoid angry rhetoric and instead used calm language. Example 2. The politician's speech was full of powerful and emotional rhetoric. 6. Measured, adjective, careful, controlled, and not extreme. Spelling: measured. Example 1. His response to the crisis was very calm and measured. Example 2. She spoke in a measured tone, choosing her words carefully. 7. Discourse noun. A serious speech or piece of writing on a particular subject, a serious conversation or debate. Spelling: discourse. Example 1. He called for a return to fact-based public discourse. Example 2. The book is an important contribution to the discourse on climate change. 8. Unprecedented, adjective, never having happened or been known before. Spelling: unprecedented. Example 1. The accusation against a former president was unprecedented. Example 2. The company experienced a year of unprecedented growth. 9. Rebuttal noun. A statement that says or proves that something is not true. Spelling: rebutal. Example 1. The statement served as a formal rebuttal to the accusations. Example 2. The lawyer delivered a powerful rebuttal to the prosecutor's arguments. Verb form: to rebut. 10. Statesmanlike, adjective. Having the qualities of a skilled, respected, and experienced political leader. Spelling: statesmanlike. Example 1. Many people praised his calm and statesmanlike response. Example 2. She gave a very statesmanlike speech that brought both sides together. Now let's look at the grammar we need to analyze these different styles of communication. Our first grammar point today is the language of contrast. To understand the difference between the two presidents' styles, we need to use words and phrases that show contrast. While and whereas are used to directly compare two different facts or ideas. Example: while President Trump's accusation was inflammatory, former President Obama's response was calm and measured. Example: President Trump engaged in a personal attack, whereas Mr. Obama focused on defending institutions. In contrast to is a phrase used to show that something is very different from something else. Example: in contrast to the angry rhetoric of the accusation, the statement was very dignified. On the one hand, on the other hand, is used to present two opposing sides of a situation. Example: on the one hand, some supporters wanted an aggressive response. On the other hand, a statesmanlike approach can be more powerful in the long run. Our second grammar point is a slightly more advanced but very useful one for formal English: the subjunctive mood. The subjunctive is a specific verb form that is used to express wishes, suggestions, demands, or hypothetical situations. It often sounds very formal and is perfect for the kind of language used in Mr. Place. Obama's statement. We use the subjunctive after certain verbs like suggest, recommend, insist, demand, and after phrases like it is vital that or it is essential that. The rule is simple. After these words, the verb that follows is always in its base form. For example, be, go, return, even with subjects like he, she, or it. Let's look at some plausible examples from Mr. Obama's statement. He suggested that the nation return to civility. Notice it is return, not returns. He insisted that our focus be on the facts. Notice it is be, not is. It is vital that we protect our democratic norms. It is essential that our leaders speak truthfully. Using the subjunctive correctly will make your formal English sound much more sophisticated and precise. To finish our lesson, I want to share an inspirational story about another leader who faced a moment of national crisis, not with loud words but with quiet dignity and empathy. This is the story of Queen Elizabeth II and the Aberfan disaster. In 1966, a terrible tragedy struck the small Welsh mining village of Aberfan. A massive pile of coal waste, loosened by heavy rain, collapsed and slid down a mountain, engulfing the village school and several houses. The disaster killed 144 people, 116 of them were schoolchildren. The nation was plunged into a state of profound grief and shock. In the days that followed, many important figures visited the grieving village. But one person was noticeably absent, the Queen. She was advised by her staff to stay away, with the argument that her presence might be a distraction to the rescue and recovery efforts. This decision, however, was seen by the public as cold and distant. The press began to criticize her. After about a week of this public pressure, the Queen realized that her advisors had been wrong. She changed her mind and traveled to Aberfan. When she arrived, she did not make a grand speech. Instead, she walked quietly through the devastated village. She spoke to the grieving parents and rescue workers. Witnesses said she was visibly moved, and at one point, she was seen wiping a tear from her eye, a very rare display of public emotion for the famously stoic monarch. Her visit had a profound impact. Her quiet, human presence, her shared grief, provided a deep sense of comfort and solidarity to the heartbroken community. Her response was not one of political calculation, but of simple, dignified empathy. She later said that her delay in visiting Aberfan was her biggest regret as Queen. Her story is a powerful lesson that in a time of crisis, a leader's most powerful tool is often not a loud voice, but a listening ear and a compassionate heart. We have explored a masterclass in communication today. Let's summarize what we have learned. First, to answer our initial question, this lesson was the next chapter in our ongoing story. We analyzed former President Obama's calm and strategic response to President Trump's treason accusation. Second, we learned 10 essential vocabulary words for political discourse, including civility, rhetoric, measured, and statesmanlike. Third, we mastered 2 key grammar points, using the language of contrast to compare different styles, and using the subjunctive mood to make formal recommendations. This story is a powerful reminder that in politics and in life, how you respond to a challenge can be just as important as the challenge itself. A measured, dignified response can often be more powerful than an angry one. Thank you so much for joining me for this deep and analytical lesson. Learning to discuss these complex stories is a fantastic way to take your English to the next level. Please let us know in the comments, What do you think is the most effective way to respond to a public accusation? And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Grow English Mastery. Keep learning, stay curious, and I look forward to seeing you in our next lesson. Goodbye for now.